This show is a part of the Quite the Thing Media Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Gamers Watch podcast. My name is Harry and as always I'm here with Shaun.
Sup?
And welcome to the new season. It's been a bit of a bumpy start, hasn't it, Shaun?
Just a bit. I got piles from the bumps.
You'll probably know this, Shaun. I had a slight meltdown over the last few days.
I saw the tweet where it was like, we came close to packing it in, and I was just sat there like, did we?
I did. I came close to packing it in.
I'll go on our account one time and it'll be like, account closed, but Harry, something's happened with Twitter again.
I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I just don't like it anymore. Sorry. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So thank you for tuning in to, what is it now? Episode 18 is this?
Episode 18 overall, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're on 18 episodes. And also, we were talking so much about reaching like 80. We were reaching like 1,500 downloads.
Yeah, we were on 1,600, I think, around.
Yeah, and what have we found out in the last few days, Shaun?
That Anchor can't count for shit.
Yeah, so Anchor were the hosts of our podcast. And it turns out that through a little bit of investigating, that they only count Spotify plays, and Spotify make up about 50% of our downloads. And yeah, it turns out that we're much closer to 3,500 overall downloads, not 1,800. So really been a strange week for the podcast. If you don't know, our episode, episode 17? Just did not load.
Yeah.
Our relaunch episode just did not appear on Apple Podcasts, and we've had to resubmit our show through a new host. We've had to migrate the show across to a brand new host. We've had to resubmit our podcast to every single network that we've had it on, and for whatever reason when we did that, it meant that our old Apple Podcast feed no longer works. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, it means that you didn't have us on the old feed, which is great because it now means you can leave us another review. So please, oh my God, shit, Shaun,
has it done
I
it
nearly
again?
died then. No, I didn't realise that I'm in my living room and the pug is behind me and he just farted and it scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. Can you hear, he's snoring. Can you hear him?
No.
Oh, this is going to be a nightmare to edit out. For anyone listening, I apologise if you hear a pug snoring in the background. But this is just indicative of our launch, basically, isn't it?
What is going on?
Mate, I have no idea. I'm not starting again. I'm not starting again for a third time.
Oh,
this is our
fucking
podcast.
Hell.
So, yeah, we had a bit of a rough and bumpy ride launching into Season 2. We had so much anticipation. We were really excited. We were on the up and up. And it sort of landed like a wet fart. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about some Xbox news, aren't we, Shaun?
We sure are.
So there's not been as much news over the last couple of weeks. We've taken 3 weeks off, and to prepare for this episode, I spent half an hour on my lunch break today on Reddit looking at the top posts of the last week, thinking, yeah, we could talk about that. So let's go through some things. Gears 5 developer, the Coalition, have decided that they are going to work with the Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty big news considering that I don't know of any other Xbox studios that are working in Unreal 5, and I've seen the tech demos for it and it looks absolutely stunning.
I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if there was maybe a couple of others, because Unreal Engine 5 will have been available to developers for a little while now, because their tech demo was a few years ago, was it? Or
yeah, it was about 2 years ago, and it looked utterly fantastic.
Yeah,
but that's pretty interesting news, and it does come off the back of a rumour that's been circulating, Shaun, doesn't it?
Yeah, this one I don't know quite what to make of it. It's that Coalition are also working on a new Star Wars IP.
Doesn't make sense to me. They're supposed to be working on 3 projects, including a Star Wars IP, but not just any Star Wars IP, a new IP.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird. I can't imagine Coalition working on a Star Wars game.
So the rumours have come about because Coalition have posted a job listing, and involved in that job listing is LucasArts developments and Star Wars IP. But for me, that could just be that there's a possibility that they're looking at. I don't think that I'm sure that we would have heard if Coalition were working on a Star Wars game. It might just be that it's a future project, possibly, but working on 3 projects at the same time and then swapping to Unreal Engine 5 at the same time, that's a huge shift in terms of what that studio's doing all at once.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just because that obviously they are the Gears of War developers. Like, the Coalition is literally a name taken from Gears of War, because it's happened before. So, like, Playground Games were basically just Forza Horizon developers, and now they're working on Fable. Yeah. So that is possible. And
they've also confirmed that the new Fable will run in the same engine as the new Forza game.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
So either Fable is going to look stunning, or Forza is going to look weird.
But it's... yeah. Why is there fairies chasing my car?
Yeah, I'm on the Laguna Seca and I've got a bloody wizard chasing after me. But that is I don't know what I think about Coalition doing a Star Wars game. It just doesn't feel right.
It's the Star Wars specific part that's throwing me off, because it would also, I'm guessing, would make it Xbox PC exclusive. Yeah. Which just seems... I don't know whether LucasArts would do that, or whether they would want everything to be, like, multi-platform.
It's a bizarre rumour that seems to have just come out of nowhere. A little bit like the Kojima working on a project rumour that just everyone was talking about for like 48 hours and then nobody was talking about it ever since.
But that rumour makes more sense to me because
it does.
Of Microsoft like wanting to focus on Japan as well a bit more.
Yeah, especially with obviously the Yakuza collection coming along, Sega wanting to get more involved. I know that Yakuza 7 is the best-selling Yakuza game of all, and on the back of that, Sega have said they're going to launch that game worldwide, multi-platform at the same time and not lock it to any regions. So that makes sense that Xbox want to be more involved in the Japanese market. Having your Gears studio work on a Star Wars game just doesn't make sense to me.
Gears Wars.
And that's not Gears of Wars. And that's not me being negative about it. It just feels weird. Like, more than anything, it just seems like it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Because a few months ago, we did a Star Wars special, didn't we, when EA lost their license.
Like a celebration of them losing the license.
Yeah.
It was like the end of episode 1 where it was just panning over Newton Abbott and me and you just had like confetti going off the roofs.
Yeah.
Playing the weird music.
With Duncan dressed as an Ewok. But none of us thought, I tell you who would be great at a Star Wars game are those people that make that very niche game Gears of War. Because Gears of War is a very, it's Gears of War. Like, you can't mistake it for anything else.
Yeah. And that's all they've made.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
That's what they are good at. So, maybe it could be that there's a Gears of War Star Wars mashup, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, it could be you're playing as a stormtrooper and it's a third-person shooter.
Possibly. That would be fun.
I say
maybe it's something like 1414, maybe?
Yeah, you'll be a rebel, won't you? You won't be a stormtrooper.
You'll be a stormtrooper for one level, and then they'll go, yoink, only joking.
You're turning good.
Yeah, that's original. But yeah, I just thought that was a bit of a strange rumour, really. Just out of the left field.
I imagine
something else that sort of came out of the left field, though, was Psychonauts 2. They just were like, hey, here's some 4K artwork. This game's launching soon. You can preload it on your Xbox. Here you go.
Yeah, it should be preloaded now.
I think it can. I think it can be preloaded.
Ooh.
And I think that means basically they're going to just be like, yo, it's available now. Like Dreamcast did in E3 all those years ago. Just be like, yo, boom, it's available.
They're going to get Martin Tyler to come out on stage at E3 and go, and it's live!
Oh, God. So, Psychonauts 2 came out, and obviously instantly all of Twitter compared it to Ratchet and Clank, because, a first-party Sony game is very, very, very much like a game that was kickstarted.
It's similar quirks, but
they're so different.
But they are very differently developed, and
they're differently developed. They've got completely different art styles, and Ratchet and Clank has a fuckload more budget than Psychonauts.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's okay. Those two games can exist. Literally earlier today, we got called out by an Xbox Twitter account because he just put a comment saying Ratchet and Clank 2 is going to fail on release if they launch it on E3. And I'm like, don't think so, mate. It's a really bold strategy. Sony aren't going to be at E3. They're going to have people talking about Sony during E3, and it means that there's going to be a focus on a brand new game rather than saying this is a game that comes out in 3 years' time. I think it's genius. And he's like, no, you just love Sony. Dude, we're called a Game Pass podcast. Like, that's what we are. You fucking idiot. But we'll talk about Twidiots later on, won't we, Shaun?
Oh yeah, new phrase.
New phrase.
New t-shirt.
We just get Twitter and idiots and we just smash them together to make Twidiots. And we will be going through a Twidiot later on, and it's fucking amazing. But should we talk about the last little bit of news, Shaun?
Yeah, I'm excited about this bit the most, probably.
100 games now utilise the frame rate boost on Xbox Series S and Series X. 100. That is insane.
That's a lot of games, and very quickly that they've been able to do them.
Really quickly. And one thing that I did want to mention as well, the Series S currently has 3 times as many 120 frame games than the PS5. That's insane. Yes, they might be at 900p. Yes, they're not running at 4K with ray tracing. Frankly, I couldn't care less. The fact that the little Series S has 100 games nearly running at 120 frames is bonkers to me. Absolutely bonkers.
It's weird how well the Series S manages to handle some games.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first started, I was very critical in the thinking of the Series S. I'm sure you remember, Shaun. I didn't really see a place for it. But I'm seeing loads of people picking up a Series S at the moment and just enjoying the fact that it's a tiny little Game Pass machine that packs an absolute punch.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I think it's
great game.
I think it's going to do really well. And I'll tell you what, when Halo Infinite launches this Christmas and you can get Game Pass Ultimate for a year plus a Series S for $300, that will be big. That will be properly big selling.
Or £250.
Or, yeah, £250.
Pounds sterling.
That is going to be a big, big launch for Halo. If only it had come out when the Series X
We're
launched.
still having to put hopefullys before Halo Infinite at the moment.
Yeah. Although I've seen some of the latest screenshots and it looks amazing. And I'm so glad that they delayed it.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. I hope.
Because I was actually playing Master Chief Collection while we had our little break, and I just forgot how fun Halo is. It's just really fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed most of the Halos. Even
it's not the most groundbreaking game in the world, but it's a great mechanically sound game. And one of my favourite things about MCC is you can swap between the updated graphics and the older graphics. I really like that feature. But it's just a fun game. Good fun. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, nice bit of casual fun.
Bring on some of the new games that are coming out on Xbox, because I'm telling you, give it 2 years' time, Xbox are going to have some absolute bangers. Unfortunately, doesn't look like Starfield is going to launch 2021. Jeff Grubb basically confirmed that a few days ago that due to COVID, it is probably going to be Q2 22.
That's not too bad.
I'm okay with that.
I imagine they'll show something at E3, but as long as it's some form of gameplay.
I would just like to also mention to our listeners that it's getting around about the time that Cyberpunk 2077 next gen version is supposed to be available.
What's happened to that? No. Crickets over there.
Yeah, almost as if posting a roadmap that is just a yellow picture with 3 words on it isn't a good idea. Weird that.
I could have done a better roadmap in Photoshop.
We've had radio silence from CDPR, and it's getting near the time that the next gen version is supposed to launch. So keep your eyes peeled, because even more people are about to be disappointed by that.
I mean, I'll wait until after E3 before I go full on onslaught, because they could be trying to do like a redeeming thing with an E3 surprise. But
they're going to do nothing, Shaun. They're going to do absolutely fuck all. What they're going to announce is Witcher 3 Next Gen is going to be available via smart delivery, and they're going to talk about DLC. That's going to be it. Mm-hmm. I mean,
most likely.
What else can they do? Hey, by the way, we fixed everything. It ain't happening. It is not happening. Should we move on to a segment that I've dearly missed?
I've missed this so much, and I can't wait for this one. Yeah.
What part of it have you missed? Have you missed Game Pass or Play or Game in 60 Seconds?
Have
you missed me making you play roguelikes?
I read too far in our script, I must admit. I was thinking Game in 60 Seconds.
Well, fuck it. Let's do Game in 60
Game Pass or
Seconds
Play
first.
is a mixed bag.
Let's do Game in 60 Seconds first, sure?
Okay, because I really, really want you to find out what I've been up to with this one.
So Shaun sent me a bit of a cryptic message. Well, actually, no. He didn't send me a message.
I sent you a message
Paul,
a few weeks ago, I think, when I first thought of it.
He sent our number one superfan groupie, Paul, a message on Twitter. And if you're listening to this, Paul, get a fucking life. He sent Paul a message on Twitter saying, I've come up with something really, really petty, and it's just for you, and I've not told Harry. And so you've piqued my curiosity, Shaun.
I'm gonna let it peak for a little while because I've also got a normal, our usual game in 60 seconds. I'll do that one first.
Okay, so shall we go through? We'll go through our normal game in 60 seconds first.
Yeah. I've
come up with 2 that are so horrendous that I don't actually think anyone will get them.
Well, which one do you want to do for this episode?
I will go with the first one I told you.
Okay.
So, shit, I've forgotten it. You go with yours first.
Fucking hell.
Remember mine. Hang on. Yeah, Shaun, you're going to have to go through yours.
Am I going with mine?
Yeah,
okay.
Go with yours. I'll try and remember mine.
So mine is...
Oh, I've got it.
Oh,
Carry on. I've got it.
Every bloody time I swear I'm about to say it, you pop up with you've got yours.
It's okay, Shaun. Carry on.
Okay, mine is... That Colombian scientist named his latest concoction after himself.
Fuck off.
That Colombian scientist named his latest concoction after himself.
What?
Yeah, it's so bad.
Is this a Game Pass game?
I don't think it's on Game Pass. This is one that it just popped into my head, so I wasn't looking for ones to do. So I'm not sure if it's on Game Pass.
Say it again one more time.
Okay. That Colombian scientist named his latest concoction after himself. And I haven't
nothing.
I haven't told you this one as well. Normally I tell you them before. I just know you're gonna groan.
I've got no fucking idea.
You're gonna groan.
This is ridiculous. Don't tell me until the next episode, right?
No, I don't. Well, I don't have a choice for recording back to back.
Christ. Okay, so my one is that little lad really likes to tell a story. So that little lad really likes to tell a story. This is a Game Pass game. So that does narrow it down. It's one of 368 games. So that little lad likes to tell a story. Shaun,
narrows it down a little bit.
Yours is so stupid.
I know it's even worse when you hear the game and you see the reasoning behind my clue.
Oh my god. I'm actually kind of dreading hearing this now, but you've got a surprise.
It's so bad.
You've got a surprise for Paul?
Yeah. So basically it was like the second half of season 1. Paul got into a little habit of guessing every fucking game in 60 seconds I come up with. So I said to him I'd find like a game in 60 seconds to do specifically for him. And during the off season I was thinking what I could do to make it either harder to guess or just awkward as fuck to come to the answer.
See, I had an idea that I don't think will transfer very well through the medium of a podcast.
Well, I don't think mine does, but I've done it anyway.
My idea was that I was going to do my clues via sign language.
Right.
But obviously, you can't see what we're doing.
No.
And it was only when I realised that we're an audio-only podcast that I thought, that won't work. But what I might do is I might actually learn the name of a game in sign language and then video myself sign it, like my hands doing the actions, and then post it on Twitter just for Paul to see if he can guess what it is.
Well, it wouldn't be the name of the game. It would be the clue that you'd have to do in sign language.
Oh, fuck that.
So that's sort of like the train of thought I was going down. I was like, well, we said about on the podcast we'd translate it to like a different language in Google Translate, then translate it back so it didn't make sense.
Oh no.
And then no, I haven't done that. I was like, that's not far enough. So,
I know what you've done.
So
you've created a picture that you can't see if you're colourblind, and you're going to show it to Paul and be like, "You can't fucking see shit." Boy.
No, that's and then that would make it impossible. It's possible to do. It's just petty to it. Okay, so
right, you ready, Paul?
I've got a game in 60 seconds clue for Paul in the Wingdings font.
Oh my god! Oh no!
And I'm gonna spell it out for him.
Wait. You're going to describe the images in Wingdings, and he's going to have to decipher you spelling them out.
Yeah.
Go into Word, type out each number and letter, and then match your description of the wingding font to the... That's fucking genius, Sean.
And I'm not going to say when there's like a space or whatever in this as well, so it's all going to be one mangled mesh, and he's going to have to figure out where the words end and that.
Are you naming the game or the clue?
I'm naming the clue, so it's not even the game.
Oh my god. This is genius.
The best thing is there's no like definitive way to describe these fucking wingding symbols, so it's just up to him to figure out what I mean by them.
This is the dumbest shit we've done, Sean. Welcome to season 2, everybody. Oh my god. Right.
So,
describe your clue via the medium of wingdings.
Okay, I'll try my best here. Ready?
Okay.
2 sec. Okay.
Sean, are you going to be able to get through this?
I'm going to try. I'm trying to...
Can you do a version of our logo, but use wingdings font?
Yeah. I'm trying to memorise what I thought, how I describe the symbols, so I can just do it one after the other, but it's fucking
Sean,
impossible.
This is a fucking shit show.
Okay, so my game in 60 seconds for Paul is smiley face, sideways 69, mountain portrait, candle, small diamond, OK symbol, northeast cube, square, medium diamond, double squiggles, devil M, northeast cube. That's it.
What? And that's the clue.
That's the clue.
Right. Say that again.
Oh, fucking hell. Smiley face, sideways 69, mountain portrait, candle, small diamond, OK gesture, northeast cube, square, medium diamond, double squiggle, devil M, northeast cube.
Christ.
Solve
Is
that.
this what our show has become, Sean? Is this what our show has become?
This is what Paul brought me to.
Fucking hell. I don't feel so bad about my shit clue now.
Oh, do you know how hard it's been to hold that in and not tell you what I've done?
What? Paul, thank you very much for ruining our show. I hope you're proud of yourself.
And if you guess...
Take your money and get off my property.
And if you guess this one, I'm going to mix the 3 different versions of wingdings together.
Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what. I've just come up with an idea for next week's Game in 60 Seconds for Paul.
Right.
Paul, I hope you know Morse code. Fuck me.
I mean, we could.
Right. You know what? Let's go to Game Pass or Play, because this is ridiculous.
I'm proud of that. I'm not even going to lie. I'm proud of that.
Don't be. Sure.
No, I am.
Don't be proud of that.
Wingdings. Bringing them back.
Fucking hell. Right. I don't even know where to go from this. All of my enthusiasm has just exited my body, Sean. All of it. Wingdings. Christ. Right, let's pick some games for each other to play, Sean.
Oh, fucking wingdings. Okay.
So I've got a game that I want you to play, but you are going to use Paul's Game Pass Selector.
I am, yeah, because I think it's a neat idea.
So Paul, and you can follow him on Twitter, at TheRealSalTire, which is SALTYRE, TheRealSalTire. He created a really, really cool Game Pass generator, and he basically got all of the games on Game Pass, put them into a big GIF or GIF, and you press the screen and it stops on a random game. And we thought we could use that for Game Pass or Play.
That's ours now.
It just so happens that I have a game that I want Sean to play. But Sean, do you want to get the roulette wheel out and give me a game?
Oh, I'll do yours first. Yeah, I'll load up the tab.
Now, I think what will be easier if you said pick 3 games and I'll choose one.
Yeah, just in case, because my test came up with like UFC 2,
Desperados 3 and Yakuza 0.
It came up with the Yakuza collection, and I was like, that won't work.
I ain't fucking playing that shit.
So yeah, I thought if we do 3 and then either you pick one or you like tell me if you've played any of them, and then I pick one that you haven't played.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah?
That's fair.
Okay.
So the first pick is...
Starting the wheel. Bam.
Ooh, stop.
I think you've played this. Killer Instinct.
I played it ages ago when it first came out, but only for like 20 minutes.
Okay, so that's one on the list.
Killer Instinct is a possibility. Right.
Okay.
And stop.
Golf with your friends.
I've not played golf with your friends, other than on xCloud, and it didn't really work very well because I had no internet. So, Killer Instinct or golf with your friends.
I haven't played golf with my friends either.
So,
you
have no friends.
We're more football people.
So...
And fuck's sake. The third one. Bam.
Stop.
Ooh, Don't Starve.
I'm going to play Don't Starve.
I'm pretty sure I get to choose.
No, I want to choose.
No, it was saying which ones you've played before, and I It's one of them that you haven't.
Oh, I've played Killer Instinct and Golf with Your Friends.
Oh,
so...
okay. You got to play Don't Starve then.
That's so out of the blue. I think I found a loophole here, Sean. I'll just say the name of the one that I want to play, and I'll just say I haven't played that one.
I mean, a good way to get to that loophole is to not say beforehand that you haven't played Golf with Your Friends yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Don't Starve.
So I'm playing Don't Starve. Fair enough. Now, Sean, do you want to know what game I've picked for you?
Yes.
Don't Starve. No. I have picked for you, and it's actually a game that I saw Paul playing on Twitter the other day. I want you to play Steep.
Okay.
So are you aware of what Steep is?
It's a winter sports sort of game, isn't it?
It is. And I had a quick go on it while it was installing, because it lets you play a little area.
Oh, awesome.
And it's good. Enjoyed it. So
is it
I want you to play Steep.
Does it feel arcadey sort of winter sports, or like Skate 3 where it's like heavy sort of feeling?
It's a nice mix between both.
Ooh.
It's the Dirt 5 of extreme sport games.
Oh, don't say that, because remember what I was on about with Dirt 5? Where it's too arcadey.
It's the Forza Horizon 4 of winter sport games.
That's more like it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I know that Paul really enjoyed it too, and it looks incredible. So I want you to play Steep.
Awesome.
There we go.
I'll get that downloaded now.
Now, there is a game that I do want to just very quickly talk about that I've been playing on Game Pass, and it's a game that I played back on the PS2, and it is Destroy All Humans. Have you ever played that, Sean?
I absolutely loved 1 and 2 on the PS2 days.
It's so much fun.
It was one of those games you could literally just piss about on for hours on end and not get bored.
So I played probably about 3 hours, and I just had this grin on my face. You can tell that it's a game made before season passes and DLC and online multiplayer. It's such a nice callback to just fun, interesting new IPs where you can tell that the team were just told have fun with it. And man, I've been enjoying the balls off of this game.
There was another game, I'm not sure if it was around the same time or if it's just because, obviously it's years ago now, my mind's meshing together. Do you remember Stubbs the Zombie?
Yes.
I want that game back as well now. I've had a taste of Destroy All Humans again.
But yeah, it's just so much fun. It's just real arcadey goodness. It's ridiculous voice acting. It's a ridiculous premise. And I just utterly, utterly adore it. I think it is so much fun. And it's a game that I'm so glad is on Game Pass because, if anything, I'm hoping that it will rekindle people's love for that series and possibly maybe a new game may come out of it. Possibly. I mean, that might have been the reason for doing a remaster, to see if there's any interest sort of thing. Gauge any interest. And I'll tell you what, I think it is absolutely beautifully done. And it does go on to our next segment quite well. But I'll talk about Metacritic in a second because... yeah, I've got a few nitpicks with that. We'll be discussing that in our next episode, for sure.
Yeah.
However, Sean,
yeah.
What did you think of Yakuza 0? How did you get on with it?
There was a little stumbling block I had. That means I haven't played it yet.
So...
I have a reason, but it breaks one of our rules. Oh my god, I just flung my phone across the floor. It breaks one of our rules.
So what do the bare naked ladies have to do with you not being able to play Yakuza 0?
It's not them. It's not the BNLs.
So it's either COVID or politics.
Yes.
Did Boris Johnson steal your Xbox?
Well, but it was not. That wasn't the reason.
So why didn't you play Yakuza 0, Sean?
So if you might have hear me every now and then clearing my throat in this recording and the next one, I may have been a bit poorly the past few days, and
have you had COVID?
It got to the point where works asked me to self-isolate and get a COVID test, which I have done. I still haven't got the results yet though. So the Sunday when I was supposed to play it was when I started feeling rough, and I was like, I'll just rest, I'll do it tomorrow. Monday, fuck me, I felt ill. And basically, I looked at the Xbox, I was like, I do not have the energy to play a game like Yakuza 0, so I just played Pokemon Snap and went in and out of consciousness.
Sean?
Yeah.
How long have we been friends?
Not as long as you and Gary, when he didn't tell you that he broke up with his ex.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. If you had died, how would I know that you wouldn't be recording on a Wednesday?
Well, because I'd be dead.
Yeah, but I would just show up on Discord and you wouldn't be here.
I
know that I joke and I say we shouldn't talk about stuff outside of recording because all our life is about is content. But fuck
Well, because I'm fairly confident it's not going to be, because the only one of the three main symptoms I've had is a temperature. I haven't like lost my sense of taste and smell, and I haven't had a continuous cough. I've just had like, you know, like you do with a normal cold or flu, you just get that like weird feeling in your throat and occasionally have to clear it.
Right.
So I'm fairly confident it's not, and work's confident it's not. They're just like, you do handle food for your job, so maybe it's safe just to.
You do have a lot of hand-me-downs.
I do have a lot of hand-me-downs to go through as well, yeah.
So you are self-isolating due to COVID restrictions, and at no point did you think, oh, actually, may possibly be worth me just mentioning it to Harry.
No. Well, I thought it normally takes people, what, is it 7 days after first getting symptoms to, like, when it gets to, like, if you're actually going to get through it or not. So I was like, I can get the podcast recording in before that.
Well, because we're doing another recording straight after this, if you die, then season 2, episode 3 is our last ever episode.
Yeah, if there's no episode 4,
I'll just have to do this.
Then
if there's no episode 4, you'll know that Shaun's dead.
I kicked the bucket.
You kicked the bucket. Well, to be honest, I'll probably just carry on my own.
It was either that or Paul guessed the wingdings, and I was just like, fuck this.
Well, I just completely lost you, Shaun. You're gone.
Yeah,
can't even hear
I'm
you.
back now.
What happened?
I don't know.
Did you die?
I saw the little offline pop up on Discord.
Did you die?
Yeah. It wasn't even COVID. I choked on a sip of cola.
Christ.
But yeah, so that's why I haven't played Yakuza 0.
So that's why. I'll give you that, Shaun. That's a fair enough excuse to not play Yakuza 0.
You can make it my Game Pass or play it next time.
No, I just think you should play it.
Yeah, but now I'm going to have 2 games every 2 weeks again to play.
Mate, you're going to have half an hour and you're going to turn it off. Trust me.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because I've never watched gameplay of it. So
I mean, to be fair, we may, depending on Apple and Twitter, we may not have another episode anyway.
Might not have platforms for it to go on. We'll have to shout from our rooftops.
Should we tell everyone what happened?
Yeah. So,
little old us, we launched season 2 of this podcast. And how long was season 2 in the planning for, do you reckon, Shaun?
Fucking ages.
I would say a good 6 to 8 weeks.
Long enough that, when like you look at the sun for too long, you get the little like dots.
Yes.
I basically had the Photoshop icon in the like top left corner of my eyesight.
Yeah, so we have been working on new content, new ideas. We've obviously now launched the Gamers Watch highlights that's going to be coming out every Wednesday, and we've been thinking of new ideas to get content creators in, and we want to maybe expand out into other shows, and we're now part of Quite the Thing Media Network, and we want to possibly be looking at doing some of their collab stuff as well in the future. And we thought, what a great time. We'll do a Pokemon episode, we'll give ourselves a couple of weeks off, we'll do the best of episode, and then bang, we are right in to season 2, episode 1, and won't it be fantastic? And we uploaded the episode, and it was all good, and it was all great. And then about 6 hours later, I checked our RSS feed where we upload our podcast, and there was nothing on Apple Podcasts. Our episode was not on there. And then I checked on Amazon, and it wasn't on there. And then I checked on Spotify, and it was on there, but it wasn't updating. And then our season 2 promo vanished, and then all of our analytics just stopped. We could not do anything on our old host. We were emailing them back and forth, we were DMing with them, and they were really good, and it was basically, we don't know what the problem is. And so we reached out to Apple Podcasts 8 times in the space of 8 days, and as of the 12th of May, Apple have not got back in contact with us once in regards to our show vanishing off their platform. So we've had to start again, basically, haven't we, Shaun?
Yep, starting from scratch.
Yeah, but it did give us a good opportunity to move on to a new host, to get some ideas on where we want to be as a platform, but it also gave us some content, and that's all our lives matter about, isn't it, Shaun?
That's what it is now. Content first, live second.
Yeah, so Twitter have censored us, and they've tried to kick us off. And now Apple have tried to do the same thing.
The corporates,
Is it us? Are we the baddies?
No, we're the plucky young underdogs against the big corporations.
Yeah.
They're trying to snuff us out.
I did have a bit of a meltdown, didn't I, Shaun?
A little bit, yeah.
Very slightly. So I don't know if anyone saw the tweet that I put out, but it was essentially, this week has been shit, and we almost called a day on the podcast. And I was talking to Shaun about this before we recorded today, and Shaun's response to that was, were we going to pack it in? I didn't take it very well, did I, Shaun?
I was working on I think it was Paul's like custom logo I was working on at the time, And I was like, oh, I need to like take a break, so I'll just quickly switch to Twitter. I saw the tweet saying, oh, we've nearly packed it in. It's like, when?
Yeah. Yeah. I've not had a good week. Let's just put it that way. It's been a little bit shite on the old podcast side of things. But it's done now. It's over. We're back in season 2. We've launched our first highlights episode, and I thought that went really well. We're on a new host. It's a new show, and yeah, I'm in a much better place. So I just want to thank everybody for their support and for cheering me up, and for Paul for just being like, shut up and just do more game in 60 seconds because I missed that. So yeah, it's been a tough week. And I'm not going to lie, Shaun, I very nearly did just want to say, fuck it, I'm done. I wanted to Yakuza 0 this podcast.
Or live tweet the demise of the podcast.
Yeah, 19 and a half minutes and the episode still's not on Apple Podcasts.
I've been spamming
This
X.
is worse than I remember. Spamming F5. But there is one thing that did cheer me up in all of this misery, and this is our first segment of Twidiots.
Yes.
Shaun, what is Twidiots? Please explain to the people.
Twidiots is idiots that you find on Twitter, to put it
They're really
blunt.
easy to find.
They're very easy to find. They're easier than finding a fucking Zubat in a cave.
Yeah, they are fucking everywhere. One of the things that really, really annoys me with Twitter is if you like playing Xbox, that automatically means that you are not allowed to say anything good about PlayStation. And if you like PlayStation, you automatically can't say anything good about Xbox. And it's really frustrating because first and foremost, Shaun, we just like playing games, don't we?
Yep, that's what it's all about.
You've always been a PlayStation gamer. I've always been an Xbox gamer. We both have a Nintendo Switch, and we just like to play games.
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult for people to understand?
I don't know.
And we had a new follower, Major Ben YouTube. It's Major Ben YT is his username, and he did a video basically calling out people that say Xbox has no games and how it's a stupid thing to say and it's tired and it's just get a fucking life basically. And I'm going to read out a comment by somebody called Master Procrastinator. Now this is a real comment by a real person online. Not a single one of those games on your list has a confirmed release date. Aside from Halo Infinite, none of them are AAA titles. Most of them are third party and probably just timed exclusives. When someone says Xbox has no games, they don't literally mean Xbox has no games. What they mean is Xbox doesn't have that many good exclusives compared to Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't have the talent or resources to put out quality first-person titles. It's why they relied so much on third-party studios all these years. Yes, they brought all the studios now, but so far, what have they got to show for it? Grounded, Bleeding Edge, AA and complete Game Pass fodder titles that aren't going to cut it. We've seen no gameplay footage from Starfield. The big game that Bethesda is apparently working on that's supposed to be exclusive. And there are rumours that it could just be delayed until 2022. Fable, Avowed, Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2. These games are still years away. The footage for Halo Infinite looks so bad. Microsoft had to delay the game for another year just because of it. Microsoft's track record for putting out good exclusive games over the last few years has been horrendous. And so far, it hasn't got much better. They haven't released a high-quality AAA exclusive on Xbox since Gears of 5, and that came out almost 2 years ago. And you're right, just because a game is a new IP doesn't mean that it will be bad, but guess what? It doesn't mean that it will be good either. So sorry, Major Bean. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it hurts, doesn't it, when you know that you're wrong? Xbox still has no games, and the truth hurts. That's a real comment by a real person.
You forgot the, 5 paragraph spaces he put and then put, doesn't it, at the end?
Oh, yeah, so he said, Xbox has no games. The truth hurts. Gap, 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 gap. Doesn't it? That's a real person.
Major
That's
Bean.
like an actual real human. And yeah, he calls him Major Bean.
I cracked up when I read that, and I still cracked up after you
That
read it.
absolutely killed me. Now, this is beyond ridiculous, but one of my favourite things is reading through these nonsense comments. Imagine, so you don't like Xbox, right? So you dislike Xbox so much that you decide to follow them on Twitter and comment on everything that they post saying PlayStation is better.
Yep.
I don't get it. Just let people enjoy fucking video games. It literally makes no sense. And so that is the first in our series of Twidiots. Now, if you have a Twidiot that you would like to have on the show, please feel free to DM us or send us some tweets or retweet us and say this is a Twidiot, because we'll happily
Hashtag
read
Twidiot.
some Twidiots out. Hashtag Twidiot.
We'll get a hashtag going.
Hashtag fuck Twitter support. So yeah, anytime that we see some Twidiots, we will retweet their tweet saying hashtag Twidiot, and hopefully we'll get that flip book done that we said a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll build it up.
Of the dumbest people on Twitter. So this is where we need the Gamers Watch gang to help us out. If you see any Twidiots in the wild, Pokemon Snap them. Take a picture of them, submit them to us. We'll be the professor. Send it across to us.
We'll give it a star rating.
We'll give it a star rating. And then at the end of this season, we will compile our list of our favourite Twidiots.
Put them in a scrapbook.
And
sell it for $9.99.
Shame them into, yo, dude, stop being a bellend.
Just play games. Just play games.
Just play games. Just fucking play games. Like, that's it. And that's as good a place as any to leave this episode.
Fucking Twidiots. Stupid Twidiots.
Just play games. So, want to say thank you for listening to the show, if it's still available. I think that Apple support are going to be our new Twitter support. I think that our season 2 arc is going to be the redemption of our show on Apple Podcasts.
Right.
And I did just want to say thank you to everybody that did support us through this difficult time. It genuinely disheartened me so much, because we had put so much fucking effort into season 2, and to have the launch just completely fall flat, yeah, it didn't feel great, to be honest.
So is Twitter support now a subplot?
It felt better than having COVID, Shaun, but it wasn't great. Yeah, Twitter support, they're like the White Walkers in the background. They're always going to be there as a threat. And then at season 8, they'll just completely fall flat.
I was going to say, we'll just have a really shit payoff in a couple of seasons' time.
Yeah, but Apple podcasts are currently like Stannis Baratheon.
They're out.
They're there. They're a threat.
They're out to get us.
But they might not be the main story going forward. But fuck Apple Podcasts, man. They've got such a stranglehold on the podcast networks, and yeah, it properly dented us. So please do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to us. So that is massively appreciated. And more than anything, if you like this show, just share it with some people. Just be like, yo, Rabbi, whatever your name is, listen to this podcast.
We bringing back the who you have to share it with this week, are we?
Yeah, who should they share it with this week, Shaun?
Your local COVID testing centre. Vaccine
your local
centre.
COVID testing centre.
And go get your fucking vaccine while you're
the
at
Bare Naked Ladies. So tweet this podcast at the Bare Naked Ladies and say, don't forget to get a COVID test. Hashtag Twidiots. And from Harry, I want to say keep on listening. And from Shaun,
I'm going to say keep on gaming.
Shaun, we finally let it into the show.
Know.
All these years.
I've been saying it for years on everything. Everything. Like
all these fucking
all
years.
these fucking profiles. You'll just see a little keep on gaming from